It's a wolf, only it is the size of a pony. Atop it rides a goblin. The mount and rider. Oh, that sounds like the fucking anime that's going on right now. The time I was reincarnated as a slime. It has, goblin riding wolves. The mount and the rider squint at your glowing sword. The wolf sniffs the air and lets out a low growl. Big dog, says Gukog. I should mention that the way out is most likely guarded, says Egra. She chuckles inside your mind. The warg lets out a grumbling growl that vibrates in the air. You use man speech, the wolf says in a deep voice. The wolf says it? Gukog, you dolt, you think. Talking dog, shouts Gukog. His illusionary goblin drool coming out in a long stream. But at least he talks like a fucking goblin. The dwarf peels its heads up and sniffs. The goblin atop the dwarf shouts something at you in his own language. The dwarf snarls some words that you don't understand, probably also in goblin tongue. They're going to attack, says Egra. The rider wants your sword. I should like to use my... what the fuck? I should like to use my slippery spell on the floor. It costs less of my father's favor than an illusion. Okay, so the favor has basically replaced mana at this point, except for the fact that it's very expensive compared to mana, because a slipping spell would probably cost 2 mana, and here we're spending 4 favor. Or actually, are we spending 4 favor? They haven't even talked about how much favor it would cost. It could probably cost 2 favor, but we'll see. Yeah, the 4 favor was for illusions, so illusions costed 3 mana back in the day, didn't they? I don't remember, fuck. Gukog screams and runs away towards the archway. Why is Gukog screaming? Runs away towards the archway of the chamber with the chasm. He runs too, not wanting to be left to fight the walk on your own. You run after them. In a second, you're through the archway, out of sight of the wolf and rider. You know they're not far. You can hear snarling and scraping of claws. You would take Egra up on an offer of slippery cell. However, you can trust that this is your best interest and not just something to amuse her. Alternately, you can stick with an illusion. Perhaps you could become a much larger warg and intimidate the one. Or what about an illusion that turns the entire body into rocks? So I have to use a favor in this one. By the way, can I boost favors? Oh yeah, I can totally boost favors now. I'm guessing I'm gonna exchange life for favor. If I go low favor, I'm going to exchange it with life. Illusions I am not up for, because Kriya is already on my ass about illusions. I'd rather not. So let's go for a slippery spell instead. It increases 2, morale increases 2. I didn't introduce life, that's interesting. It actually gave me morale. There's no exit. Maybe favors are more expensive than mana. There is no exit from this chamber except over the chasm. It's too wide to jump. In this blind panic, you almost expect Gukog to try to leap it, but instead he turns at the chasm and begins running along it. There is nowhere to go. He's heading towards the wall. Nevertheless, you and Kriya follow. At a moment later, you hear the claws of what would be the wolf sprinting into the chamber. There's no time to look back. The timing has to be right now, you shout. Either Egra understood your intent or she had the same idea. The sound of the claws suddenly stop and the snarl turns into a great whine of terror. You turn back just in time to see the wolf and the rider as they plummet over the edge of the chasm. The whines and screams of wolf and goblin terror recede, and then there's a thump. Strange, says Kriya. Her tone sounds confused, but she has a slight smile. She then looks up into the air and says, a prayer. Praise to you, goddess of luck. Gukog laughs. Stupid dog. He begins to run back towards the archway. We get out of... Suddenly Gukog begins to slide across the floor, towards his hand in the air. His sword goes flying. He falls on his rump, slide through the archway and out of the chamber. Egra laughs in your mind. You jog over, pick up Gukog's sword, and cautiously edge closer to the archway. The floor looks normal. Don't worry, I've removed the slippery, he says. Yeah, she probably hasn't. Walking towards, suddenly a feet slide out from under you. You hit the floor, flinging Gukog's sword in the air. In your peripheral vision, you see Kriya dodge to the side, avoiding the flung weapon. More laughter in your mind. I guessed that shit from a mile away. Kriya is standing behind you, evidently outside the slippery area, mouth twisted as though in thought. Egra, can we please get a move on to the city, you say in your mind. A slight vibration under you, sliding your head across the floor. It feels like the normal friction you expect from stone. You get to your feet. There's a shimmer before your eyes. Gukog, no longer disguised as a goblin, runs back into the chamber, retrieves his weapon. You look over to Kriya Shimmer and drop her goblin disguise. Looks like your potion has expired, says Kriya, frowning as she inspects her arm. You shrug and walk over to the archway. That's, I guess, what else is he supposed to do except for shrugging. You shrug and walk over to the archway and peek out. You half expect the chamber to be full of goblins. Apparently, the goblin and the wolf are alone. Maybe they're spread out looking for us, says Kriya. In that case, we should be grateful that the wolf didn't howl for reinforcement. This place would be crawling. I bet the goblin wanted my magical glowing sword for himself, you say. Well, that's not part even of the... That's what I was thinking. That's not part of the potion. How the fuck does that work? Like, the potion can explain the illusion a little bit on myself. On others, it doesn't make sense. The glowing sword doesn't make sense. Obviously, Kriya is at it. Best we leave quickly, says Kriya as she cautiously approaches the edge of the chasm, shines a torch down. This way out looks treacherous. You join her, shine your lantern down. The chasm is a sheer cliff into darkness. I don't see the water. I wouldn't know there's a river at all if not for the sound, you say. There must be a way down somewhere, says Kriya. The three of you spend a minute searching along the chasm in the room. There is nowhere to climb down. Kriya, how about a rope? You ask at last. Kriya, what about a rope? I don't have one. I don't have one, says Kriya. And don't bother asking Gukok. It doesn't even have a shirt. I thought you were an adventurer, you hiss. How do you not have a rope? Am I a pack animal? Asks Kriya sarcastically. I can't carry something for every contingency. I told you this is not the way out, says Egra, a lilt in a voice. What the fuck is a lilt now? Fuck you, I'm gonna actually look this up, fuck you. You know what, you're gonna bring out fucking big ass words? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna waste everyone's time. And I'm gonna look it up. What is it? Lilt? Let's see what this means. What is this? Come on, open. What the fuck is wrong with my internet now? Really? Slow as fuck for some reason. It's not loading the one thing that I want to see. It's loading everything on the fucking page except for the one thing I want to see is the meaning of the fucking word. Lilt. A spirited and usually cheerful song or tune. A rhythmical swing flow or cadence, springy, buoyant movement. Got it. I got it. What it means. I'm guessing she said it like... where is it? I told you this is not the way out, says Kriya, a lilt in a voice. Yeah, that's probably what it means. Let's just get out of here, you say to the others. You lead the way back. Why would you say that? You lead the way out into the chamber with the vandalized statues, then through the doorway next to the stone dragon that the work had come through. Why did you drop our illusion, you say to Egra? Any illusion is better than us traipsing about this place. I am... God damn this game, I was about to look it up again. Fuck you, I'm not... Man, fuck me then. Fuck you, not fuck you. No, fuck you. And fuck me as well, for fuck's sake. I'm not gonna look up every goddamn word now. That would be too annoying. But traipsing about this place, I'm guessing that means like a gallant walk or something like that. I'm just gonna make up my own meanings from now on. We held on to that goblin disguise for too long as it was. My father's meddling will be noticed by the gods if he's not subtle, says Egra. You enter into a hall with large, unskillfully painted mural. The figures in the mural are hardly more than stick figures. It appears to be depicting some battle between goblins versus humans. Many of the goblins are mounted on wolves. There's one large creature on the goblin's side who has forked lightning coming out of his eyes, smiting several soldiers. The paint looks fresh. Indeed, you can even smell it. Gukok lags as he points at one of the humans who appears to be defecating in fright. Kriya slaps his hand, puts her finger to her lips to shush him. The three of you move on to the end of the hall where there's a stairway going up. Up is good, you think. The stairway leads to the circular chamber about 20 meters in diameter. There is a large stone altar covered in rust stains. 3 candles burn atop the altar. 4 torches burn from scones set into the wall, evenly spaced from each other. There is an exit directly across from you with another stairway going up. There's another exit to your left. Statues line the wall. Unlike most you have seen, these hasn't been completely destroyed. Although they do have what appears to be the strange symbols smeared on their white marble skin. Recognize that several of the statues depict gods. One is bald, fat, and has a massive grin. That would be Tychus, the god of luck. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. Another has the head of a wolf. The room is quiet. Egra, there's your father, right? Ohor, the god of trickery, you said, pointing at the fox-headed statue. Wait, I think the statue is fox-headed because in Japanese mythology they have like What is it called? Fuck's sake. Fuck, what is it called? I forgot. Right, a nine-tailed fox. That's what it's called. She doesn't understand. Your father's statue has the body of a woman. Still, she says nothing. Well, he's the god of trickery after all. And you did say how gender has no meaning to gods. Since Egra does not want to talk, you address the others. Blood, you say with a sigh, pointing at the rust-colored stains on the altar. It's always blood, isn't it? A man rises up from behind the altar. His head is bald, his chest is bare, runes are smeared over his head, face and torso, smeared in blood, of course. I'm guessing that middle woman is the goddess Or. God damn, she's not even close to being as hot as the illusion she did before, because that woman was fucking bawling, except for the face. Now the face was unfortunate, holy shit. Man's eyes focus on your party as though he has just woken from a deep sleep or trance. He frowns and crosses his arm. Why are you down here? He asks in a raspy voice. A few ridiculous answers come to mind. Taking a tour. We are adventurers. Say nothing. Attack. Oh, that's funny. So, I don't think attacking is a good idea. There are two options here. Taking a tour and we are adventurers. I feel like taking a tour is funny. But he's probably going to damage us if we do that. I'm gonna go with that. Actually, that's funny. We're taking the tour, you say casually with a grin. The man glares at you for a second and he says expectantly, what do you say? I'm impressed. This place is a sewer. I don't know if I'm impressed is a good option. I'm gonna say this place is a sewer. Might as well be bold, you think. There is no telling what response this man expects anyway. This place is a sewer. You say. The man inhales and grimaces. The sewer indeed. Yes, you stink of it. Obviously you took the thorough tour. Too thorough. Even the goblins stay out of the sewer unless they run low on rations. We wanted to see it all, you say, throwing up your hands. Gods, what's going on? Egra, a little help here, you say. This looks like a dangerous man. What is he talking about? There's no response from her. In fact, now that you've realized, now that you're searching your mind, you realize that something is missing, like her presence departed. The man grins. I thought I knew all of the Shushan's agents, but I've never met you. You grin back. Maybe it's better for him if you don't know everything. What? Her, actually. Mistress Shushan is a her. His eyes scrounge together suspiciously. Yet she is like a man in her manner, you say, forcing a laugh. She fears the pants of this operation. He tilts his head at you and is silent. You look over at Kriya. She is looking between you and the man. Her eyebrows knot in confusion. The man throws back his head and laugh. So he is the servant of the Shushan person, or whatever her name is. Suzanne, I'm guessing. Is they just changed that to Shushan. Suzanne, I don't know. I'm gonna just call her Susan from now on, Mr. Susan. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know what to say about it. It's a really weird conversation. And the progress on the digging? Ask the man. What digging, you say in your mind? Egra, what is he talking about? There is no answer. You decide to keep your answer in the middle. Dig in progress? Well, enough, I suppose. Although I'm no dwarf. You shrug. Yes, and exactly what is your expertise? And the expertise of he scans over Gukog and Kriya. Acquaintances, he finishes. I'm guessing this guy thinks I'm working for Susan. And he's also her servant. Yes, that's probably what's happening here. As you suspect, we are agents of Susan. That is all you need to know, you say. It feels weird saying Susan. I know it's Shusan or whatever. I kind of want to don't say that, but it sounds weird. Shuzan. I don't know. The fuck, Susan. It's much better that way. He scowls. His eyes flash with anger, and then it subsides. What happened? As you suspect, we're agents. Yeah. Okay. But then when it subsides, he draws his lip back into a thin line. You must have had a contact among the goblins. Who was it? He asked. There is a hint of mistrust in his voice. You would rather not answer, but you feel you should give him something specific before he becomes further suspicious. You remember Egra mentioning the name of the large goblin you slew. Face Masher, you say. Wait, what? Must have had contact with the goblin. Who was it? Okay, so he's just asking about the goblin. Okay. Face Smasher was the previous. What's it called? Uh, Face Smasher was the previous fucking hell champion, right?